Now, my first question, though, is I am at the moment inundated with people telling me what I should buy based on my preference. If I go on Amazon and I buy a CD, Amazon will say, you know, I should buy, if I like this, then I will also like this, this, and this. That's not what you're doing.
No, not at all. That's an interesting approach, and it was the first approach that the idea of music recommendation came from Amazon when they first launched their service. But the idea of the social recommendation, that's actually called collaborative filtering, is a bit antiquated at this point, because you're only tying yourself into your demographic. We have, as humans, kind of conflicting psychological needs. One need being to feel the belonging to a social group, but we also have this other need to feel like a unique individual and to make discoveries on our own and bring them to our social group. And sometimes what your social group is listening to is a product of the culture you're brought up in, but you might have interests that lie far outside that social context that you live in. So by looking at the mathematical relationships in the music, or by looking at some of the mathematical patterns in songs that you like, we're able to find very diverse music on some occasions that you
back up for a moment. So on Amazon, they're doing a very simple algorithm which says people who bought what you buy also bought this. You're doing something wholly different, which is you're actually examining on a mathematical basis the structure of songs. Is that?
We're adding that component, yes. We do incorporate some of the social context as well as the content.
So describe to me. So when a computer analyzes a song mathematically, what does that mean?
We have a program, and there's a lot of this research going on in many different places. We're associated with several different research institutes. One of them is Barcelona Music and Audio Technologies. We have this thing that we call the Music X-ray, and it's a program that's able to analyze an audio file digitally and break it down into about 30 different components. Many of them have musical terms like melody, harmony, beat, tempo, rhythm, octave, pitch, and some of them are more frequency and technical term-based. So by looking at these components or features in a song, we're able to see how they fit together and how those particular patterns, or in the way they fit together, appeal to the human mind.
So how do you represent, if I do an analysis of an individual song, how do you represent that song's pattern? I mean, I'm assuming that each song has a kind of fingerprint based on all of these various dimensions.
Yeah, that's right. You can start with basically any song and assign what we have a long alphanumeric code for each one of these attributes. And when you then analyze subsequent songs, you simply, the computer is able to see how different the next song is from the original one. We place the original song perhaps in the center of a piece of paper and start looking at distance of differences.
So now, by the way, before we go any further, you're talking about all songs or just rock songs?
No, all songs. Anything that would be considered musical.
So what we have is a kind of universe of songs that are grouped according to these.
Yeah, if I look into here, if each one of these dots represents a song, there would be millions of songs in the universe. Today we have about 10 million songs available for legal download at the click of a mouse. So the problem becomes how to find the needles in the haystack, the songs that you're going to like. Our company gained a lot of recognition in the beginning because of the work that we were doing in hit prediction. We were helping and continue to help major labels and Grammy-winning producers and artists determine which songs they're going to release as a single, because the single is the showcase window for the album, and hopefully it helps artists have long careers. So we began analyzing this entire music universe, and we got curious about what hit songs have in common with each other, so we removed from this universe all of the songs that...
So this universe right here represents how many songs?
I mean, on this slide there are thousands of dots, but it could be 10 million songs. We've run through the computer, I think, to date, several million.
So you pull out the non-hits, and what happens?
Pull out the non-hits, and what you're left with are about 60 of these clusters all throughout the universe. We would say mainstream audiences tend to lock into very particular and certain mathematical patterns. So if we take a close-up view of what 3 of those clusters might look like, it would look something like this. What we do is we take a 12-song album of a new artist, perhaps, who's releasing. We analyze the 12 songs on the album and then simply overlay them on top of the already pre-existing hit clusters.
So you could tell how close a candidate song is to a known hit cluster.
That's right. The song, what we don't look at, the computer can't tell you if the song sounds and feels like a hit or if you're going to promote it appropriately. But what we can tell you is that the songs that fall outside of these hit clusters, like the ones up here on the top, no matter how much they sound and feel like hits, no matter how effectively you promote them, unless there's just some overriding reason that they're going to be hits anyway, it's the song to a blockbuster movie, they're probably not going to perform well in the market. And about 90% of the songs that music labels release and promote are songs that someone feels sound and feel like hits, but then they don't perform in the market.
So you've got, to go back, you've got how many hit clusters?
There are about 60 in any given market.
You're saying that if you look at the top 10 songs at any given moment on the popular music charts, chances are overwhelming that every one of those hit songs will fall into one of 60 mathematical patterns.
Chances are overwhelming. We'd say